righty. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is March 18th, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, it is March 18th, 2025. I hope you're having a good morning. It looked like a good day yesterday. Everybody was chilling. There was a lack of headlines over the weekend. There was nothing surprising. The data did not get in the way, and we continued our rally from Friday. A lot of China activity, and now this morning we are a little bit down. You have a big meeting between Trump and Putin. Actually, within the next 2 hours, they're going to be getting on a phone call, and we should get headlines. But now you got people, Fitch, namely, just a couple of minutes ago, they're coming out, they're downgrading U.S. growth. You are going to have that NVIDIA meeting that we got going on, but when it's all said and done, we are not out of the woods just yet. We have a little bit of data, but before you know it, it's going to be about momentum, where we end up, and then your boy Jerome Powell tomorrow. So I got a couple of theories for you. We're going to go over all of that. What's that? Amazon undercuts NVIDIA with aggressive AI chip discounts. The information. Hot dog. Good morning, baby. I know, it's only Tuesday. What up, PNC? What up, IPAC? Jamar, Gus Gonzo, baby. French, how you doing, Mr. Jordan? Good morning, Jose Brown, Tom Cruise, Laurie, El Chaparro, Samuel, Adam, Bushnell, Devin, baby. Good morning. How we living? What up, MIA? What up, Most Dope? How you doing, Brenda? Winning loser in the house, baby. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Griffin. Good morning, Josh Jacobs. Good morning, Josh Chevalier, baby. Good morning. A lot of Joshes. Lauren, Tyree, OG, Lucky Soldier, baby. Good morning. All Devlin's in the house. That's what I love to see, baby. Good morning. Dirty Board, Godfather, Joey, Kakamo, Shakir, baby, Beaker, Anastagos, Dr. James Cash, baby. Good morning. What up, Enzo? What up, Me Nacho? What about the Twitch? What about Preforms? Swinging Bear, Stock Sasquatch, Blizzy B, Epic Eric, Payday Devo, Iron Beeble. I thought it was Iron Beagle. Swinging Bear, Blowing Dough, Danny V, Toy Soldier, Rojik, Roach Vince, and Pie Guy, baby. Pie Guy. Good morning. So, Chad, I hope you're ready. It's going to be an interesting one, but don't forget, yesterday even had a little bit of delay, then it got crazy, and then, again, literally, you're responding to Fitch right now. They just downgraded growth and started talking about their trade war, and now you got those NVIDIA headlines, but when it's all said and done, we might lag a little, but towards the end of the day, you are going to be hearing about your boy Pow Pow. So good morning. Let's have a great day. Let's do it. Amen. Amen. U.S. stocks to resume slide as growth concerns weigh. Wall Street was set to resume its slide, and gold hit new record highs as concerns grew over the economy, and developments around Gaza and Ukraine dented sentiment. Futures for the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 slipped at least 0.2% as Russian President Vladimir Putin was said to be demanding a suspension of all weapons deliveries to Ukraine during a ceasefire proposed by Donald Trump. Meanwhile, Israel shattered a nearly 2-month ceasefire with Hamas by launching airstrikes across Gaza. Those events add to concerns the U.S. economy is losing steam as a result of Trump's trade and labor policies. Oil prices rose for a third day, while gold prices rallied above $3,000 an ounce, and gold exchange-traded funds saw a fifth day of inflows, and the tone in Europe was more positive, with the stock 600 index climbing 0.7%. Investors focused on the prospect of hundreds of billions of euros in additional spending by Germany as the country's parliament prepared to vote on a landmark fiscal bill. The plan, which is expected to boost economic growth across Europe, lifted the euro to a new 5-month high. Optimism over Europe was amplified by a positive economic sentiment survey in Germany. European equities are extending their year-to-date outperformance over Wall Street, with a Bank of America Corp monthly survey showing investors weighting to European stocks at a mid-2021 high. U.S. allocations, meanwhile, have fallen by a record amount in recent weeks. U.S. equities are being challenged not only by trade and tariff uncertainty, but even more by uncertainty over the administration's economic strategy. Wolf von Rotberg, an equity strategist at Bank J. Safra Saracen, said, noting Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's dismissal of the recent Wall Street sell-off as a healthy correction, long-term prospects for European equities have certainly improved given the steeper growth trajectory in the years ahead. He added, among individual U.S. pre-market movers, Nvidia Corp rose ahead of Chief Executive Jensen Huang's much-anticipated keynote speech at the company's GAI conference. Tesla Inc. dropped and was set to extend this year's 41% slide amid signs the electric car maker's owner Elon Musk has alienated its main customer base. European auto stocks climbed, however, lifted by optimism around the outlook for electric vehicles after China's BYD company unveiled rapid charging EV models. ThyssenKrupp AG and BAE Systems plc extended recent gains as analysis showed these firms stand to benefit the most from Germany's spending splurge, and investors' attention will now turn to the Federal Reserve's two-day meeting that kicks off later Tuesday. While interest rates are expected to stay unchanged, investors are eagerly awaiting Chair Jerome Powell's assessment on the economy and how much policy support could be offered by the central bank this year. Treasury 10-year yields edged up slightly to about 4.3%. Insiders buy the dip. One group of well-informed investors looked at last week's stock market sell-off and decided it was time to buy. When stocks got hammered into a brief correction, erasing some $5 trillion from the value of the S&P 500 index, corporate insiders stepped in. A gauge of insider sentiment from the Washington service shows that with 2 more weeks to go in March, the ratio of buyers to sellers rose to 0.46, up from 0.31 in January. That puts the measure on pace for the highest monthly reading since June and back near its historical average. Putin wants all arms to Ukraine halted for Trump truce. Russian President Vladimir Putin is demanding a suspension of all weapons deliveries to Ukraine during a ceasefire proposed by U.S. counterpart Donald Trump. According to people with knowledge of the matter, the two leaders are set to speak by phone on Tuesday about ending the war in Ukraine, with a key objective being the 30-day truce that Kyiv has already said it's ready to accept. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said the call is expected to begin at a time between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. in Moscow. German lawmakers vote on landmark spending bill. German lawmakers will vote on a bill Tuesday that would unlock hundreds of billions of euros in debt-financed defense and infrastructure spending and herald a pivot toward a substantially more expansive fiscal policy in Europe's biggest economy. Conservative Chancellor-in-Waiting Friedrich Merz and the Social Democrats last week sealed an agreement with the Greens that should secure the 2/3 majority needed for the law to pass the lower house of parliament, or Bundestag, barring any last-minute surprises. At top overnight news, Russia's Vladimir Putin is demanding a suspension of all arms deliveries to Ukraine during a ceasefire proposed by Donald Trump. According to people familiar, the two leaders are set to hold a call this morning. BBG, Israeli airstrikes pounded Gaza, killing more than 400 people, Palestinian health authorities said on Tuesday, threatening the complete collapse of a 2-month ceasefire as Israel vowed to use more force to free hostages held by Hamas. RTRS, U.S. President Trump is scheduled to sign executive orders at 15:30 EDT/19:30 GMT on Tuesday. U.S. President Trump's administration is reportedly planning a 25% workforce reduction at the U.S. IRS Taxpayer Help Office, WAPO, WSJ's T. Morales, as part of his Fed preview, Powell's 18 colleagues who participate in monetary policy meetings have shifted their outlook. A few doves have become hawks and vice versa. At least one has an eye on possibly succeeding Powell next year. German lawmakers vote later on a bill that would unlock hundreds of billions of euros to finance defense and infrastructure spending. European weapons manufacturers look set to benefit most. BBG, Trump said he's authorizing his administration to immediately begin producing energy with coal in a bid to counter China's economic advantage from the fossil fuel. BBG allocation to U.S. stocks saw the biggest drop ever in March, with concerns over stagflation, trade wars, and end of U.S. exceptionalism driving a bull crash in sentiment. Global investors raised their allocation to cash to 4.1% from 3.5%, ending a sell signal triggered in December, with the speed of the downturn in sentiment being consistent with end of equity correction, RTRs. Over at the Fed, Trump named Michelle Bowman as vice chair for supervision. She's expected to support a lighter touch on bank regulation. The FOMC starts its two-day policy meeting today. BBG, China hasn't imported U.S. LNG for 40 days, the longest gap since June 2023, as traders diverted shipments to Europe to avoid Beijing's tariffs. Buyers are looking to procure supply from Asia Pacific or the Mideast instead. BBG, Indonesian stocks dropped the most in almost 3 years, at one point triggering a trading halt as concerns mounted over weakening consumer spending and the president's populist measures. U.S. Trade Rep Jamieson Greer will now handle tariff messaging. Through the past 2 months of tariff chaos, marked by false starts, confusion, and presidential threats, followed by quick reversals, U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer has largely been out of the picture. He was only confirmed to his role in late February, creating a void filled by White House advisor Peter Navarro and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick to handle messaging. BBG. He said that one weird. There's a more. S&P futures, they are down by 0.2 Tuesday morning trading, though off the worst pre-market levels. Comes after stocks finished higher for a second straight session on Monday. First two-day gain for the S&P and a record close since February 19th. Equal weight S&P outperformed along with cyclicals and high short interest names, while Mag 7, the notable lagger. Treasuries unchanged to weaker on the long end of the curve. Dollar is up by 0.1, gold is up by 1.1, Bitcoin down by 2.2, and WTI is up by 1.3. with some focus on renewed Middle East tensions. Very quiet from a headline perspective. Monday's bounce extension chalked up to lack of weekend Trump tariff news, lingering oversold conditions, and better than feared retail sales. Dampened CTA and levered selling pressure, renewed retail buying. However, still a lot of skepticism about bounce sustainability, given Trump 2.0 policy uncertainty into April 2nd reciprocals. In addition, recent reports have highlighted the myriad of complications surrounding reciprocal tariff calculations and implementation. Trump and Putin call on Ukraine, Bundestag vote on German spending ramp, and NVIDIA GTC, the key events for today. Also, some focus on rampant Middle East tensions following Israeli military strikes in Gaza. Just a few economic releases today. February housing starts printed at 1.5 million, well above the 1.38 in prior month's 1.3. Building permits were largely in line. February import prices increased by 0.4 against consensus for 0.1. Export rose by 0.1, also a bit higher than forecast after January's 1.3 rise. Industrial production data still to come. Geopolitics in focus as well, with Trump and Putin call on Ukraine ceasefire. Trump said on Monday that many elements of a final agreement have been agreed to, but much remains. In addition, U.S. and UK officials meet in Washington today to discuss trade. FOMC decision on tap for Wednesday, along with updated SEP and Powell presser. Previews noted lower growth and higher inflation, likely in the SEP, while median dot plot for 25 seen unchanged at 2 rate cuts. Claims in Philly Fed manufacturing also set for Thursday, and then Fed Williams on Friday. Google reportedly back in talks to acquire security startup Wiz for $30 billion after failing to close a $23 billion deal last summer. Amazon reportedly considering cutting 14,000 managerial positions by end of March. Tesla under pressure on headlines. A Chinese EV competitor is offering free driver assist features. Baidu boosted by release of 2 new AI models. Wells Fargo confirmed OCC terminated 2021 consent order. STLD guided up Q1 EPS a bit below consensus. SRPT lower after a patient death. BTU and coal stocks higher after Trump authorized admin to produce coal power. Quiet elsewhere in terms of corporate news, though. NVIDIA, Jensen giving keynote today at 1 o'clock Eastern, and Adobe, GLW, and Box all holding analyst meetings as well. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. There's more, Habibi. There's more. Always more. Trump admin weighs individualized, simplified tariff rates, considers value-added taxes in tariff decision. Trump undeterred on tariffs while corporate America and market worry. No pushback from his advisors or Republicans on Capitol Hill. USTR Greer looking to inject new order in a tariff plan following chaotic initial rollout. Canada PM Carney concedes limits to how much Canada could match U.S. tariffs dollar for dollar. China set to tighten export curves on EV battery and chip material technology. China halts LNG imports from U.S., renews pork and poultry export registrations. Trump tariffs complicate American investment plans of auto manufacturers. EU launches probe into aluminum markets amid concerns Trump tariffs will promote surge in cheap imports. Trump tariffs loom large over Fed meeting this week, posing a big test for policymakers. Trump confirms his choice of Fed Governor Bowman as vice chair of supervision. Bank of Japan expected to hold on Wednesday with focus instead on Ueda's signaling of the rate outlook. RBA remains more cautious than the market on prospect of further policy easing. Bank of Korea board members emphasize need to focus on restoring economic sentiment and boosting the economy. Trump tariffs and government downsizing expected to slow U.S. growth and accelerate inflation. Global growth to slow this year as next uncertainty on trade and economic policy take their toll. Many economists skeptical of Trump's arguments that recession might be worth the cost of tariffs. Germany posed for a historic vote on massive defense and infrastructure spending. Deutsche Bank survey shows that 54% of respondents in China feel financially better off than a year ago. Bank of America's survey allocation shows U.S. stocks dropped significantly in March due to stagflation and trade war fears. Trump no longer sees stock market as end-to-all barometer of economy or useful indicator of voter sentiment after it boomed under Biden. Foreign inflows to China's onshore markets hit record high in February. Japan Finance Minister Kato says bond markets should decide on yield moves after 40-year debt yield hit record high. Goldman economists say Japan wages need to rise by at least 3% over the next 2 years. Alphabet in talks to acquire Wiz for $33 billion. NVIDIA hosts the Super Bowl of AI, transforming its annual developer conference into a who's who in the AI world. Amazon reportedly cutting 14,000 managerial role. Baidu rallies following release of free-to-use AI models. Hedge fund short sellers make $16 billion betting on Tesla's plunge. Microsoft teams up with Swiss startup to deploy a new AI model that simulates brain reasoning powers. Forever 21 bankruptcy puts the spotlight on de minimis impact. Anthropic to put focus on business users in search for new revenue. Trump admin seeks delay in Nippon Steel case. Samsung to be scrutinized by shareholder after AI chip failings. BYD climbs after unveiling new vehicle lineup with 5-minute charging capability. Chinese authorities begin probe of CK Hutchinson's Panama port sale. Trump says many elements of peace already with Putin ahead of talks. Trump reportedly considering recognizing Crimea as Russian territory in bid to end war. EU and UK explore seizing Russian assets for joint defense spending. Israel launches its most intense assault against Hamas since the ceasefire took place in January. Trump says China President Xi to visit the U.S. in not too distant future. Europe weighs French nuclear deterrent as U.S. commitment wavers. Trump says he's authorizing immediate production of coal-fired power. Trump admin requiring federal agencies to report spending on negotiating labor union contracts for past year. VP Vance takes on greater role in TikTok sale with Trump saying 4 different groups are vying for the business. U.S. Postal Service is asking Doge for help in cutting costs and reforming the agency, and pushback to Doge cuts sees some federal office leases restored. Wow. Shout out to Vets, baby. We're still very early, so we got time. As far as pre-market movers. ESLT is up by 6.8 off earnings. RL is up by 3.2. Goldman upgrade. Grab is up by 3.1. They're conducting due diligence on GoTech Bloomberg. PR is up by 1.8. Duo up by 1.6. Citizens JMP upgrade. XYZ is up 1.4. Kiet and Bruette Woods upgrade. FINV up 9.8 off earnings. BTU up 3.6. Trump comments positively on U.S. coal. Genie up 3.1. B. Riley transfers buy. Lucid up 2.8. Morgan Stanley upgrade. Ockel up 2.6. RBC initiates outperform. MRP up 2.0. Guidance declares inaugural dividend. ARLP up 2. Trump comments on coal. RGC is up 60. HRO up 22 on guidance. LITM up 18. 10 million buyback program. ENZ up 17 off earnings. NBTX up 8.1. Amends global licensing agreement. Sana up 7.8 earnings. AFCG up 5.7 insider buy. Kodak up 3.7 off earnings. BTMD up 3.5 insider buy. CMPS up 2.6. Results from study for treatment of resistant depression. T-Tech is up 2.6. Will expand strategic partnership with Variant. Gold and silver trading higher. Chinese ADRs higher. Tesla trading lower. ETR down 2.6, 15 million share offering. Reddit down 2, Pepsi down 1.2, Barclays downgrade, GLW down 0.2, update on Springboard plan and CNBC interview. SRPT down 24, patient died following treatment of Elevatus, suffered acute liver failure. BBAI down 8.6, restates financials. Bach down 39, delays Q4 full year results. Bank of America and Webull will not be renewing commercial agreements. HYPR down 25 off earnings. NRGV down 11 off earnings. Stock down 3.3, earnings CEO to step down. Very down 2.9, delays 10K. And then quantum related stocks trading lower, as well as Bitcoin related stocks. Wow. Not bad, not bad. So today, I think it's going to be weird. Again, even yesterday, they literally chalked up yesterday to lack of weekend news. But it's not like yesterday caused anything, so I wouldn't read into the bond dynamic too early. But I'm sure you're going to get a day where we're going to move off the headlines with Trump. That'll give us a little bit of a guide, and then like towards the end of the day, we're just probably going to chill as everybody gets ready for Powell. But just get ready for volatility. We are not out of the woods. I know the VIX dropped, but some days we'll have answers for why we're moving, but other days I want you to also be prepared because you might move without anything happening. Again, even yesterday was like a weird, just not much developed worse, so therefore we went up. So we'll see where that leads us, but Chattadonia, how you feeling, baby? How you feeling? I got a couple of plays we'll go over, but before we do that, we have something way more important. Oh, I hope they feel me. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at the Cult, before we do anything, before we try to chase a dollar, before we try to enrich ourselves, we must pay homage to a very special group of people that has made a sacrifice that most of us never have and never will. And I'm talking about the veterans of the United States of America. So on behalf of the Cult, the people here, the people not here, I want to give a huge special shout out all the active servicemen, past servicemen, anybody who has served this country and the families. For real, thank you for everything you have given. I hope you know you are loved, appreciated, and if anybody should be getting a crib, if anybody should be getting a long-term, it should be you guys. So please, let us help in any way we can, and at bare minimum for everybody in here, bro. Seriously. We started off this year. I hope we end this year with a level of patriotism that is unmatched. And I don't mean propaganda patriotism. I don't mean extremism. We read C.S. Lewis, so I hope you pay attention. I just mean bare minimum, the culture and respect and honor we should give to those in our nation who have given up everything for our freedom. Bare minimum, we should be honoring this as if this is the most important thing in the world, because it is. So I hope all of you, man, from beginning of the year to end of it and to the end of your life, I hope that you could honor and respect the veterans who have given up so much for your freedom. So I hope you're with me. You could show them love. We got a lot of veterans in here. So if you ain't served, baby, you should drop a thank you as well. So veterans, God bless you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and big shout out to your families as well who also had to make this sacrifice, and big shout out to anybody else giving back to their local communities, doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men, anybody making their community run. God bless you and thank you, baby. But ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Send it the Jets! Oh, it's game time, baby. Horna! Oh, Chatadonia. Chatadonia. How you feel, baby? How you feel, bro? Game time. Game time. So, Chad, Lutnick says it's nonsense that Chinese AI company DeepSeek was built without U.S. chips. So you got a Lutnick comment. Vroom, 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 baby. What's the day, Tuesday? I slept all day yesterday, bro. You have no idea. U.S. tried to attach export controls to trade deal, Commerce Secretary Lutnick says. All right, baby. So we got our plays. I got a couple more that I will go over here in a second, but I think it's time we move on over, baby. Time to go to Gen Pop. Who's with me? Who's with me? So I will see you there. God bless America. Trump team explored simplified plan for reciprocal tariffs. Wall Street Journal. That's coming out right now. Did you guys see it? I printed on the wire a little earlier. I got to find it. But that being said, here is your link. We will go to Gen Pop. And God bless America. And shout out to the vets, baby. You wouldn't be here without them. You better wise up, bro. You better wise up, baby. Good morning. All right, I'll see you in a little bit.